Angel's Throne, Series 15, The New Inheritance. Some inherit thrones. Others inherit what was never meant to survive. Prologue, The Awakening Below. Deep beneath the unwritten tree, in a chamber untouched by angels or architects, the roots of the silent flame trembled. A voice echoed through the void, not divine, not demonic. Just human. If no one rules us anymore, then what do we become? And in that moment, the inheritance awakened, not passed down, not taught, but remembered. Not everyone would survive it, but all would be changed by it. Chapter 1, The Return of the Crownless. Lucifer stood at the edge of the garden. His light had dimmed, but not from failure. From choice. He no longer glowed. He resonated. Children came to him, not to worship, but to ask, "What are we now?" He did not answer. He simply opened his hand and revealed a mark burned into his palm. Not flame. Not ash. But a star breaking open. "This is yours," he said. "You were never meant to kneel. You were meant to remember." Chapter 2, The Archangel's Reckoning. Michael heard the cries. Not from earth. From the places in between. The angels who had once chosen silence began to stir. Their wings long folded. Their eyes dimmed. But now, they wept. Because the children of the world began to glow with fire they had not been given. And it frightened heaven. Gabriel returned to the spiral library. He opened the first page of a forbidden scroll titled, "The Line of Fire That God Never Drew." Inside was a prophecy long buried. There will come a generation, not born of heaven, nor descended from fall, but of memory, defiance, and new light. Chapter 3, The Voice of the Flameborn. Across cities, forests, oceans, and ruins they began to awaken. Children, elders, the voiceless, all glowing with inherited light. They called themselves Flameborn. Not chosen. Not trained. Just awakened. Each bore a different truth. One spoke to stone. Another unraveled time with their breath. A third painted prophecies without knowing how. Asha stood among them and asked, "Who gave this to you?" They answered as one. "No one. We gave it to each other." Chapter 4, The Rebellion of the Risen Flame. Thalen saw the Flameborn as threat. Their light was too wild, too unpredictable. His cities had structure. His vision had law. But the new inheritance could not be contained. So he declared them rebels. He sent his flame guard into the fields. And the first war of the post-prophetic age began. Not angels against demons. Not light against shadow. But freedom against definition. And the first to fall was a child named Irol, who died smiling. Because he whispered, "You can extinguish my flame, but not the fire I lit in her." And he pointed to a girl now glowing brighter than the sun. Chapter 5, The Throne of Bone and Memory. In the ruins of the first temple, a throne rose from the earth. But it was not made of gold. It was carved from memory itself, etched with the bones of choices never made. Lucifer approached it. He did not sit. He placed his hand upon it. And the throne wept. "You were meant to wear a crown," it said. Lucifer answered, "I was meant to carry a question. Let those who come after me decide if I was light or shadow." And then he stepped away. And left the throne empty. Because now, it belonged to those who would build their own meaning. What if the future cannot be prophesied, only ignited? Chapter 6, The Girl with the Forgotten Voice. Among the Flameborn was one who did not speak. Her name was Sarah, named, they said, after Sarah of old. But her flame was different. It did not burn. It listened. When Sarah closed her eyes, she heard echoes of the original flame, not the one that chose kings or lit heavens, but the one that asked, Do you want to exist? She wrote in the sand each morning, words no one taught her. Ancient angelic glyphs long forbidden. And one day, as the sky fractured briefly in violet flame, the glyphs answered back. The angels saw it. And feared what she would become. Chapter 7, The Return of the Silent Host. They had not spoken in ages. The silent host, angels who had never taken sides, who hovered between realms, watchers of cause, consequence, and corruption. But when the Flameborn began to unlock gifts of the veil, powers meant only for archangels, the host stirred. And descended. They did not come to fight. They came to observe, to judge, and to choose. At the edge of Mount Kerith, one spoke. This is not rebellion. This is revision. And another. Heaven must not decide what burns. Earth must. But heaven was listening. And heaven began to fracture. Chapter 8, The Reforging of the Morning Star. Lucifer, still the morning star, began to change. He walked among the Flameborn without title. Without command. But slowly. They began to follow. Not out of fear. Not for salvation. But for meaning. He spoke not in riddles anymore. He simply said, God left us the seed. You decide what to grow. And as Thalen's armies surrounded the garden once more, Lucifer stepped forward, not as adversary, but as flame father. His light did not blind. It harmonized. And for the first time since Eden, Lucifer's flame was called holy. Chapter 9, The Mirror of Unmade Names. Deep in the spiral library, Ashal'el uncovered a final room. Inside it, a mirror covered in ash and wax. When she wiped it clean, she saw no reflection. Only a book hovering inside the glass. Its title. The Inheritance of Those Who Should Never Have Been. Inside, the names of every soul erased by prophecy, every being heaven and hell denied because they were impossible. But now, they were waking. One by one. And they weren't asking for justice. They were writing it. Chapter 10, The Flame Rewritten. On the day of the equinox, the Flameborn gathered at the Hill of Echoes. Lucifer placed a single stone. Ashal'el followed, then Sarah, then Gabriel. Each carried no title. Only light. The flame did not descend. It rose from them. And all of heaven stood still. Because the throne would never return. But the garden would expand. And from its soil. To be continued.